Hi, Big Jim here on Lucille Murray, working on one of my favorite projects, electrical systems. Electricity is a black art that can go bad really fast. Anyways, this is DC, so it's a lot safer than AC in many ways. Right now what I'm working on is passing my new bilge wiring through the old 40-year-old bilge. It's probably not 40-year-old, but it's quite a bit older than the existing bilge wiring was very suspect. It unfortunately, the wires were pretty old. I don't know how old they were. They could have been original, so that could have been 40 years. When you strip them, they were silver, so they could be tinned, or I would really hope they wouldn't be aluminum, but they were very dark, so that means they were starting to corrode. Being in the bilge is not a good thing. Now the problem also is, as I cut away several inches of the wire and trimmed them again, and they were still pretty gray. Not the bright silver that you see normally with tinned wires. Anyways, the hard part here is that if you look down here, you might be able to see we have a ton of wires going up into the electrical box. And there was no provision for doing it well or doing it in a controlled environment. So they are just a bunch of wires and very hard to deal with. And the problem there also is feeding up a new wire, because I didn't want to use any of the old wire. So I fed wire. You'll notice that down here in the bilge, right here along the edge, I put in the new wires and I attached them to the side. But the clamps that I'm using are designed for like 1 or 2 wires and thin wires to boot, probably more like speaker wires. And the ones that I'm using are number 12s, which are relatively thick and carry a lot, can carry a lot of electricity. So they may be a little over spec'd for what I'm using them for. Obviously, they're heavier than the wires that are actually used in the bilge pump itself, but that just means they definitely won't be overloaded. I'm going to replace the clamps with some heavier duty clamps. I have a box that's just full of wiring and electrical equipment. So these clamps are much heavier duty, and I do have a bunch of those. I have some black ones around here someplace. I can't find them right at the moment. Oh, here. Well, here's the kind that this is the kind I'm looking for. These are like the perfect size, but of course I only have one. You never can, and of course you know that I'll find it the minute I'm done with the project. I will find and I have a bag of like 1,000, because I bought a bulk bag, because you know that when you're doing electrical projects, you end up with the need for 1,000 pieces. Anyways, so the trick here to feed the wire, because I couldn't get the wire up through the hole underneath here, it's really tightly packed. So what I did was, I have this PEX hose that I was using for a water feed at some point, and what I'm using it for is basically I'm creating a temporary conduit. So I stuck it through here, found the hole. So here's the bottom of the PEX. I'm going to feed the 2 wires I need to pull up into the electrical panel, and hopefully I'm going to use a little bit of tape to make them stick to the PEX, and hopefully that will be enough to get them into the electrical box without having a lot of trouble. There is a little bit bigger of a space inside the electrical panel, but this is my my attempt at getting it set up properly. Anyways, let's get on with the work. So talk to you later.